Previously on Raw Danger. Well, hello again, and welcome back to Nathan Plays Raw Danger. My name is Nathan, and this is Raw Danger for the PlayStation 2. In the previous episode, we started a new chapter as an amnesiac man who woke up in a laundromat with no memory of his job or who he was or anything about him. Then we met a lady who promptly collapsed, and it was up to us to try and figure out what to do about that. Not really making a huge amount of progress on that front, although I did finally discover the use for the assemble command. So we'll pick up where we left off there. So my big idea that I'd had while I was recording the previous episode was that perhaps I had to try giving the icy patch to the lady, but unfortunately the give command is grayed out. There's nothing I can give her at this time. And so I supposed it was time to go around and make a more methodical search of the neighborhood. I kind of bounced back and forth to a few places and not really done that very well. First stop, this alleyway, which I didn't really think I could go down before, but it turns out I can. And here's Jasper. Hey, Jasper. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Jasper is carrying a lot of things, as it turns out. And I decided to first glance over what was available to me. Not all of it useful. I already have a travel pouch as well as an umbrella. So I decided to grab one of the energy drinks, or the energy drink, I suppose. As well as one of the heating pads. Never know when these things will come in handy. Didn't leave anything with him at the time because I wasn't sure. You can head into this building. Huh? Sitting right behind you is, quite at random, a pair of oars. That will fit in my backpack, thank goodness. And further down this way is just a lot of rubble. Not really much to see there. I suppose that will save me the trouble of making my own oars. Back out on the street, I did head up to this pedestrian crosswalk, and there is an item here. Let's go check out what it is. Huh? Rudolph's compass. Oh, kawaii! It's pretty adorable. I mean, look at this. Look at those little eyes. Aw. I love it. Well, it's time to move on. Ah, now what's this? Appears to be some sort of a triage area that I had not noticed before. I can head in, bother some of the patients. Let's see if one of these emergency workers has anything to tell me.
I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here. If you need something, let's talk outside.
Okay, sure. Well, I figure I may as well cut to the chase.
Someone unconscious at the laundromat.
At laundromat.
She doesn't look too well. Here, I'll leave her with you.
Wait, aren't you the first responder? Why are you giving me the stethoscope?
Sorry, it's nothing.
And then, sorry, it's nothing? What does that mean? So he runs away, rather, or off.
Huh?
And even though I know she's burning up, I think I'm going to use the stethoscope to see if I can get a clearer picture of what's going on with this lady. Yep, the stethoscope told me she has a fever. That's how those work, right? That's what they do. Now, it appears that I am able to administer the icy patch. Not the frying pan. No. There we go. There we are. Absorbs heat from inflamed areas, brings down fevers. Look at that. She's stable, but still needs care. Yeah, I can't quite get over that the guy just gave me a stethoscope, and then that stethoscope was good for the thing. I tried to use it again to see if I could further diagnose the situation, but unfortunately it would only tell me that her body is shivering. Oh, I need a blanket or something. Again, That, I think, is what stethoscopes are for. I'm not sure. It seems suspect, but how do I know? I tried to check if I could make a blanket out of whatever I have to hand, and it appears that I cannot. So now it was off to search for a blanket. In a nearby plaza, as I continued to scour the area, I did find another item. This time it's yet another compass. This one is the R-9D compass. A shout out to the R-Type series of side-scrolling shoot-'em-up games also developed by IRM, the developers of this game. And I like it. It's pretty cool. So we throw it on, of course. As I wandered around, I did switch from my makeshift coat back to my regular doctor's coat, because why not? Spoke to this fella again, who seems to be coming down with something, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I tried to be reassuring as best as I could. I found some what appear to be... I thought they were blankets at first, but I guess they're just mats. So I was kind of hovering all over them trying to pick them up. I attempted to use the stethoscope on the man using my newfound diagnosis powers, but it was no good. Down this side street, there's a fairly conspicuous flooded area. Perhaps that'll be useful later on. Good to know where that is. And then, of course, we have the triage area once more. I thought I would pop in there and maybe see if that emergency worker could offer some more advice on where to find a blanket.
I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here.
Once again, I'm not allowed in, even though he'll just hand me tools. I mean, those stethoscopes aren't free. Oh, he's giving me a blanket. There we go. So after all that running around, I could have just gone back to that one spot. So, with that, I headed back to the laundromat to administer the blanket. Those glasses do look amazing, don't they? Okay, a soft blanket to warm one's body. And there we go. Well, my work here is done. I'm just going to stare at her while she sleeps. Oh, she's coming around.
Oh. Please, come with me. David was...
Couple of options here. Mostly centered around my lack of memory.
I don't remember anything.
I like that I'm wearing glasses over my eye patch,
I think it
apparently.
has something to do with your head. It looks bad. You may have amnesia.
Is that my name?
Oh no! How could you forget your own name? Your name is... You and David are good friends, and he was my boyfriend. There's something I want to tell you. I heard David was killed by his sister. I can't believe
Oh, hey.
that. David always talked about his sister. They were very close. I want to find out what really happened to David. But I'm scared and can't do it alone.
Fragment of memory obtained. Name Ivan and Kozlov. And now it goes into detail on the Remember system. Apparently I will be obtaining fragments of memory as I go and converse with people, and then I'm able to connect them and restore the parts of my memory that I've lost.
David's apartment.
Here I can decide if I want to do anything in particular. I thought I may find out more about myself. I can be a little more non-committal or outright negative as usual.
Find out more about myself.
Good idea. If you go to David's place, you may remember something. David lived in an apartment complex called Landmark Apartments.
Yep, been there a couple of times by now. And so we're off together. I, of course, went to my Remember Memory area just to try this new system out. Now that there's something in there, I can remember memories, and there you are. You have the two glowing fragments. Fairly obvious how they fit together, and so you slap one in one side, Kozlov, and after a bit of fiddling with menus that I couldn't quite figure out how to go back, I got it, and Ivan. There we go. They all glow in a lovely way. I remembered my name. I think my name is Ivan Kozlov. After I was told that. So did I remember it, or did her powers of suggestion influence me? So I can check on what I've learned so far. I can check other areas. Apparently I wear a white gown is part of my memory, so that may be linked to my job in some way. So I slapped it in the spot there for now. See if we can connect up later on. She's waiting for me out in the street, and so it was time to head off and see if we can make some progress. First, I had to give her a few of the things I was toting around. Thought I might help her out with some earmuffs, which she's always wanted. Well, seems like you could just buy earmuffs. I mean, you don't have to go your whole adult life wishing you had earmuffs. We make a bit of conversation, and then I decide to try handing something else over. Maybe she wants my awesome makeshift coat. She's always wanted something like that. Perfect. Haven't you always wanted a coat made of garbage bags and packing tape? I have. And it's beautiful on her. Make a little more conversation. And then I thought maybe her head needed covering. You know, in case it got cold or something. So I decided to give her chef's hat. Unfortunately, and of course she's always wanted something like that, but chef's hat comes into conflict with the conflict with the jacket that had a hood, and so the jacket just vanishes into the ether. I had to check my items to make sure I hadn't gotten it back, and I hadn't. So I suppose it's on her person somewhere. I'm not really sure how that works. It's entirely possible that my beautiful homemade jacket is just gone forever. Which is a little sad. But that hat does look pretty good on her too. Well, I know the way forward. Let's head back down to that flooded area and take a look around. The oars were a bit of a clue. Well, can I build a boat or anything? Doesn't seem so. Maybe the soft top we could turn upside down and put a bottom on it and float in it? I don't know. Oh, we need a boat or something that floats. I remember there's a shelter nearby. Maybe we can find something from there. All right. Did you mean that one where I made the cardboard walls for the guy? Let's go check it out. So I checked in with him again. I thought maybe these mats can be turned into a raft somehow. After sort of a fruitless conversation with him, I did get a personality fragment back. Apparently, I am devoted. So that's nice. I suspect I'm going to miss a good amount of these memories. I mean, I try to be thorough and check into corners and stuff like that and talk to people, but, you know, I've missed, like, every one of the gems so far. Except the one, the ruby. I decided to try across the way in the triage area. Talk to the guy here, who again reminds me that I'm not allowed in. He's happy that she's recovered and wanders back to do his job. Well, I'll just take a look around for myself. No big deal. I won't trouble you. Don't worry about it. Oh, maybe this stretcher thing, or I'll try talking to these people. Apparently everybody's getting sick, and that's sort of a theme we've seen developing over the past, in the past chapter and this one. And then it struck me, air mattress. We can use the air mattress as a boat. Apparently my job might have been with air mattresses.
What's with the air mattress?
The emergency worker wants to know why I want it, so I decided to be straight up and say I want to use it as a boat.
I want to use this as a boat.
What? That's too dangerous.
But he
I can't
disagrees.
Let you use it for that.
Won't let me take it. Well, that's fine. Let's try again.
What's with the air mattress?
I want her to use it to rest.
Well, I want her to use this to rest.
Not a boat at all.
I understand
Only
she's
resting.
not feeling
No
well,
boats.
huh? okay. I'll help you carry it.
So despite my previous answer, he's totally down for this and is actually even going to help me carry it, which is not necessary and looks very, very awkward for everyone involved. It's hard to articulate. Maybe you can tell from the video, but it's hard to describe just how awkwardly this controls. Like, it just... When you move around, I have to play with it a bit. It's the same as with the trolley carts and certain other parts in the game where it just does not move the way you think it should. Hard to put a finger on why. So even though she's right there, I have him help me get the boat down to the waterfront here. Or the, air mattress boat thing.
What? That's it?
At which point he clues in.
I guess I can't really say anything. I'm not better.
He decides he can't say anything even though he did just say something and tell me not to use it.
Take care.
And bids us adieu. Bon voyage, I'm sure. And off we go. I imagine that if I hadn't already collected the ores, it would be a thing to either go find them or make my own. And here we have a bit of a flood update. Things are already looking pretty grim around most of the city.
That's David's apartment. Number 402. Let's go.
I thought I would have to drive this time, but it really just takes me right up there, so that's nice.
This should be it, right?
Hey, what are you doing here? The worst case scenario came true. Your research caused this mess.
Worst case, you
My
say.
research?
Dr. Spritz, what are you talking about?
Oh, I remember you. You're David's girlfriend. I'm sorry about David, but he did deserve it.
Too soon,
What
man.
was David involved in?
You should ask. This mess is, and David, fault. Actually, I'm glad to see you here. It's not too late. The container drifted off and ended up at the high school campus. I'll go and check things out. Stay here and find a way to destroy
Oh,
it.
okay, and then he shows up at the
Let's meet
high
up
school.
later at Delray High School.
That might also explain those large tanks that I saw floating in the water outside the gym, if you recall. I get some more memory fragments, and I have a lot of questions to ask.
Who was that?
That was Dr. Spritz. As far as I know, he was a mentor for you and David. He left NorCal Pharmaceuticals shortly after David joined the company.
Huh. What's in the container?
I don't know. He said it was missing and ended up at the high school.
Huh. What's echidna?
Looks like Knuckles.
I don't know.
You know, from...
He asked you to find
Sonic
a
and
way
Knuckles?
to destroy it.
Huh. Where's Delray High School?
I think it's in Union District.
Huh.
Well, having exhausted all of my options, I suppose I could just repeat the questions, but I decided to go in instead. We've picked over David's apartment a couple of times, and yet items keep showing up here somehow. But first of all, I decided to pop into the Remember area and put together some of these new fragments I got, including particularly my job. I have a couple of options. I have a white gown is doing some kind of research, echidna is in there, and airbed. So I decided to put together some kind of research and echidna. Cha-ching. They glow. And I remember that I was a researcher on echidna, which, again, somebody did just tell me. But now I have a new option, echidna and myself, in the list. Put devoted into the slot, just, for later. But this one's a little more complicated. As you can see, it has 4 slots, and I don't know anything yet. Oh well, there's time. So yeah, as I said, David's apartment is restocked once again somehow. There's also a tree in it, probably from that little mishap with the taxi cab a while back. And a spot that I can warm up. It's probably fine to have an open flame here and just unattended in this apartment. Gas range, no big deal. Found some fancy dress shoes that I put on. Because, you know, when you're running around in a disaster situation, of course you want to have some snappy shoes. And I also discovered this satchel. After a little bit of hemming and hawing, I decided to equip it. Not sure if it has better or worse carrying stats than my rescue bag, but it looks bigger. And it looks better on my back. I think. Very striking. It looks like it's about the same amount of inventory space altogether.
Huh?
In the bedroom here, there's a parka on the floor, which I threw on over my, instead of my coat, rather. Which kind of completes the look there. As well as a laptop computer that's been left on. Let's check it out.
Oh, I think I know the password.
Oh, that's very convenient. Not sure why she trudged in like that. But her logging into the computer got me the schedule from me. Apparently, Echidna will be transported on Friday the 24th. I've made prior arrangements. Blah, blah, blah. You can go back and pause that if you like and read the rest of it. I'm now asking that all data be destroyed regarding Echidna. And yeah. So I got a new memory thing, Apollon.
Seems David and I were researching Echidna together.
Does it have anything to do with David's death?
Oh, I don't know.
Almost
There's information
definitely.
about Echidna in my apartment. Problem is, I don't remember where I live.
Don't worry.
That is an issue.
Let me take you there.
Oh, and so we set off in our boat together. Well, now I'm in control of the raft again, which I haven't actually done since chapter 1, I think. It's been quite a while. I threw on a preemptive heating pad because I know things get pretty cold and wet on the raft. And you can see there's a pretty fast-moving current there, which I decided to cautiously step into and just let it carry me along. Here we go. To zip around the city this way. Of course, all good things must come to an end, and I sensed that there was some danger, so I started trying to get out of it sooner rather than later. Somehow, it didn't sweep me any further. It just sort of stopped there. Not even sure what I was running up against. But I did take a quick glance off to the side, and yeah, okay, that makes sense. Giant chasm there. Again, not really sure what saved me when I turned against the tide. But from here, with a lot of bumping into poles and everything else, I managed to make it over to this landing-looking area. This is where the perfect spot to park looks like. Mashing on the button. You can't get off there, it says. Oh, wait, do you wish to get off? Yeah, okay, why not? Air mattress can be deflated to carry. That's the beauty of air mattress. And so I have my boat with me. I'm taking a brief detour on shore here. My friend isn't looking so good, but I'm sure she'll be fine. New compass, the snowman, also pretty cute. We'll say goodbye to the cool spaceship, but maybe it'll come back later. I don't have the hug talent that the first chapter guy, who's Joshua had. So I'm not really sure how to impart more warmth to her other than to keep moving and try to find a fire. Found another new compass within moments of the first one, the samurai compass, which is a lot cooler than a silly old snowman. Look, he's ready to draw. He's going to fight. as well as some sweatpants, which I hemmed and hawed for quite a while over, and in the end just took instead of equipping. I like my dress pants after all. Took me a bit to figure out how to climb onto this truck, which was the obvious way onto the road, and there's a fire up ahead, so we'll head there. Usually the companion just sort of catches up to you when you get to these sort of landmarks, and that's what I was hoping for here. So at this point, I felt like I had recorded more than enough footage. Ah, it worked. She's here. I had recorded enough footage, and it was as good a place as any to end this episode off. And so in the next one, I guess we'll continue making our way over to Ivan's apartment to see if we can learn more about the Echidna, the project that went awry, and perhaps NorCal was willing to kill over. In any case, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next mission.